Midterm elections are supposed to be smaller, quieter affairs compared to presidential contests. Yet, heading into 2026, the sums being poured into these races are unprecedented, rivaling what we normally see only in general elections. The early flood of resources, even when fully disclosed, is a stark reminder that what the public sees is rarely the full story. While headlines often focus on candidates, slogans, and social media battles, the real game is being played behind the scenes, where money flows strategically, shaping outcomes before most voters even pay attention. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Even at this early stage, hundreds of millions of dollars are being funneled into key districts. Mega donors and super PACs dominate the headlines, their contributions fully disclosed, but the scale alone is enough to overwhelm local campaigns and influence narrative framing. This is money that historically would have been reserved for the general election, yet now it is strategically deployed in primary and midterm races to set the stage for longer-term control. The sheer volume highlights the stakes. These elections are about more than individual candidates. They are about shaping influence, infrastructure, and future power. Public awareness versus reality. Disclosed contributions give the appearance of transparency. The public can see who is funding campaigns, which can create a sense of clarity and accountability. But even with full disclosure, the real intent behind the spending is often obscured. Which districts are targeted? Which messages are amplified, and which are suppressed? How are grassroots networks subtly nudged or marginalized? The mechanics of influence remain largely invisible to voters, even when the money itself is visible. In effect, disclosed money can still function as a form of strategic opacity. Voters notice that spending is happening, but few understand the purpose behind it, or the subtle ways it shapes perception, policy priorities, and candidate viability. Implications for democracy. This massive influx of resources into midterms raises urgent questions. When campaigns are so heavily funded from the top down, with precise targeting and messaging strategies, the electoral process is no longer just about persuading voters. It is about shaping the environment in which voters make choices. The concern is not only about fairness, but about the concentration of influence. Large donors and outside groups can disproportionately affect outcomes, often favoring well-funded narratives over community-driven priorities. Even when the money is visible, it is wielded with an intent that is not fully apparent, setting the stage for deeper questions. If the stakes of the 2026 midterms are already higher than expected, and the flow of money is more aggressive than usual, we must ask, what is the larger purpose? Is this simply about winning seats, or is there a longer-term plan to entrench influence, shape norms, and steer policy pathways? Understanding the scale and timing of these investments is the first step toward asking the bigger question: what are voters not being shown, and what structures are quietly being built behind the curtain?